So I've been leading the tours of Ukraine since 2014, the year of Maidan revolution, and also the year when Russia attacked Ukraine by invading Crimea and fomenting the war in the east of the country, in the region of Donbass. Um, and Ukraine, for the last 20 years, has undergone upheavals that are uncomparable with any other European countries. There were two revolutions, there is the war, and there is this continuing kind of internal strife between the corrupt establishment in the country and the people who are trying to get rid of it. So those are the narratives that we are going to discuss on this tour of Ukraine that we are hoping to do to conduct in the summer of the next year.
Now, there's a new president who got himself into a bit of trouble with Donald Trump. That's been and gone. I think a lot of people have heard about that. But just talk about what he had promised to Ukrainians and to what degree he's had any success.
Well, Volodymyr Zelensky is quite unique, but I would say it's Donald Trump who got himself into into trouble with Volodymyr Zelensky and created some trouble for Ukraine and Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky was elected exactly because of how tired the Ukrainians are from the corrupt political establishment, from the people who ruled the country before Maidan revolution and who continue to rule it after Maidan revolution. So what happened is that in 2019, people voted overwhelmingly for a person who was a professional comedian, and his main act was playing a president, an accidental guy who becomes the president of Ukraine and tries to tackle this corrupt establishment that I mentioned. So now he is actually the president. He is doing just that for the last 2 years. And we can say there was some progress on some of the issues, but there were failures on the others.
Right. So I think you were saying your line is that he's had some degree of success in sort of pacifying or calming down the situation in the south, the situation with Russia, but in terms of tackling corruption and the oligarchs, it's been an uphill struggle.
Yeah, exactly. He promised to end the war with Russia. And in a way, he has achieved it because the conflict is now frozen. There is almost no fighting. Back 2 years ago, we had people dying almost every day on the front line. There is almost no deaths at the moment, although there is no political settlement either. On the corruption front, it has been very patchy, and there were a few steps backwards with some of the anti-corruption legislation being annulled, and oligarchs feeling freer and safer under Zelensky than they used to be in previous years.
Well, it's a fascinating tour, but we should also add that you're speaking in the middle of winter and it looks absolutely frozen. I know you're speaking from the Baltics, but you cover the whole region. But Ukraine is a fantastic place to visit. It's a huge country and it's actually got great food and beautiful architecture as well.
It is a very diverse country, and I should mention that it's much warmer than the Baltics. And if you go to Ukraine in summer, brace for a very hot summer. It has fascinating food. It has architecture ranging from Austro-Hungarian Baroque and Art Nouveau architecture to a lot of Soviet architecture in the East, and you'll get to see both. And on top of that, the country has a fantastic restaurant scene, which you're going to have a chance to try as well.